Exomologiste tokirio te agathos alleluia.
Otis ton neona to eleos aftu alleluia.
Who wants to debate this? What are you debating, sir?
A more gentleman, because he has more of an eagerness to him.
There's more?
He has more of an eagerness, so I want to speak to him.
So you're saying I've got no eagerness enough? Bob, I like you.
Sorry. Listen.
I've got topics to challenge you. You actually have never addressed, like overpopulation, including.
I don't believe in overpopulation. I believe the population globally will plateau.
Then, well, it's more relevant than some.
Sir, that is the debating point.
Hello, my friends. So, how you doing? We did.
Deportation. Why are deportations and remigrations essential?
Because definitionally, I believe nationalism, so being proud of your country and prioritizing your country. A country is not just defined, and we've had this historical discussion of what is a country. Is it an economic zone? Is it some sort of zone of culture? I think it's its people, its land, its borders, its culture, its language, its religion and economy. I think all of these are essential towards the definition and distinctions of other countries.
So the religion.
Yes, because this
Middle Eastern religion.
Well, yes, it's a Middle Eastern religion, but it's a Western interpretation of that religion. Anglicanism.
Middle Eastern religion, though, right?
No, it isn't. Anglicanism.
It's not a religion.
No. Anglicanism is a completely different taste and interpretation of a religion that came from the Middle East. That's why you see within the Great Schism of the 1400s between the east part of Rome and the west part of Rome. Anglicanism is not the same towards Eastern Orthodoxy or Oriental Orthodoxy.
Yeah, but you're saying that Christianity is not the same in the Middle East as it is in the UK or in Europe.
Correct. There are liturgical differences. There are traditional differences. There's differences in the books they read.
What books do the people read in the Middle East that they don't read in Europe?
So for example, the Catholics would read the Deuterocanonical Canon, which is 66. The Ethiopian Bible contains 81.
You said the Catholics, but you're saying that there's no Catholics in the Middle East?
Well, there are, but Catholics derive from the west part of Rome.
Does that not go against what you just said then?
No, because Catholicism comes from the west. I'm saying Anglicanism, Catholicism, Lutheranism, these all come. Look, for example, Lutheranism in Germany. It's named after a German monk. Anglicanism,
his
Anglicanism.
interpretation.
What is
That was his interpretation of the Middle Eastern religion.
What does Anglicanism even mean?
What
does the word? Yeah, what does the word actually mean?
The English Church.
Anglo. So the Anglo people. Catholicism.
Hold on though, but Henry VIII only changed the law so we could.
Not true.
So we could.
Henry VIII. Henry VIII is one component of several different clergy members within the English Church which wanted to reform doctrines within the Catholic Church, which includes.
Did he change it? Did he separate from the Catholic Church?
Of course.
So he changed.
But it wasn't just him who decided to do it. It was many different clergy members within the Anglican Church. And this is coming from someone who's not Anglican. To say that is just dishonest. Now, you've just said something that I originally said, that it's an interpretation of a Middle Eastern religion, which means it's completely different.
So he's changed the original religion.
Wait, did you just say change?
Are you saying that that's what I was?
Yeah,
asking.
of course. The Middle Eastern aspects of Orthodoxy is completely different.
That's what I'm trying to get you to explain then. Explain the difference in the Middle
language
Eastern
of
and the Anglican
Christianity. The language of the liturgy. So, for example, Orthodoxy commonly speaks within the language of their jurisdiction.
You're saying the interpretations of the scripts.
No.
The original scripts.
Yeah. Hello. Language. So the Anglican Church speaks English in their liturgy. The icons within the Western churches are all white. Where do you think you get the white Jesus from? But if you go to a Chinese church, the icons of Christ are Chinese.
So, we're saying what? Jesus wasn't white then?
He was a brown man, probably. He had bronze feet. So all of these things are different.
So why are you changing to Jesus then if you know that he's not white?
It's because, and I don't want to deviate to a religious discussion. However, the classical understanding is that people are more familiar with people within their own tribes, which more speaks towards homogeneity, if anything. So a white man will recognize Jesus more if he's white. A Chinese man will recognize Christ if he's Chinese.
So black people shouldn't have a white Jesus?
No, if a black church wants to depict Christ as black, there is a sound principle towards that, which means that the black community will recognize Christ even more. And that is why, if you look at Ethiopia, they'll have icons of Christ being black. But no one ever says to the Ethiopians that's a historical distortion of what Christ looked like. And that's the point. Why is it that different countries, and this is actually good evidence for my argument, why is it that countries globally interpret Jesus' skin color and ethnicity in a different way in coordination with the country that they live in?
Ethiopian Jesus much more resemblance of what actual Jesus could have probably looked like.
No, he was. If you read Luke 4, he said he has bronze skin.
Hold on. Yeah, bronze.
That ain't black.
Bronze, bro. Yeah.
That's not black.
Yeah.
Bronze ain't black.
Ethiopians, yeah, black is a whole different shade of colours, right? You get light-skinned black people, dark-skinned black people. So a black person looking more bronze, a Middle Eastern person looking more bronze, an Ethiopian person looking more similar to Jesus, if he ever existed, then
You can say
Cesare Borgia looking similar to Jesus.
Listen, you can say that there is a similar color contrast to a brown man to a black man, but nevertheless they've intentionally decided to paint Jesus black. And that's the point. The reason why they've done that is because we have biologically trained to resonate more with people that are within our tribe. And that's the argument from homogeneity, that communities form amongst a religious, ethnic.
With the deportation argument.
Yeah, it's because the reason our country is so divided is because we fell into ethnic, religious, and cultural tribalism. If you look at areas like Whitechapel, for example, and that's
What's the example?
Yeah, Whitechapel. Recently, they tried to have a deportation march and they threatened to riot, and the police had to stop the march from happening. That's a massive.
Because there's people walking through the streets saying they don't want to deport local residents.
No. In fact,
they should just stand there. And
they were calling for the deportation.
No,
No, they're talking about the deportations of illegal migrants, and in fact, the organisers actually stated in a video. It's because it demonstrates a demographic replacement. These areas do not have a native English majority population.
The English people moved out when more people moved in.
No, it didn't. It's a small replacement of imported people.
No, people wasn't moved in to move English people out. People moved out from the areas, and people moved into the areas.
Yeah, I don't think we should capitulate. That's a literal invasion that you're describing.
How is that an invasion?
Okay, people retreat, and then you fill in an area full of non-native English people.
No, if there's not enough people to fill jobs or other roles, housing or whatever, and they import other people that come in and fulfill those roles or whatever, why are you fighting against them?
That's called exploitation.
How's that exploitation?
Because you saturate the job market full of foreign workforce and they'll pay you less.
So people are getting paid less today than they was.
Yeah, of course. Let's look at.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying people are getting paid less in 2026-25 tax year than they was before any sort of migration was happening?
Outside of inflation, yes.
No, of course not.
Of course. Wait, you're being silly. You don't think? Okay, best example of this with the delivery trade, right? Amazon now can look at areas like Amazon, right? They now will give jobs to freelancers. And Deliveroo, Just Eat, all of these industries used to have to pay full-time workers to deliver goods. Now they can just go after people who aren't originally from here and give them like £2 jobs without paying them an hourly wage.
Yeah, because
if you are silly. I'm not finished. You are silly to say that we import more foreign workers. That means the rate at which these people are paid stays the same.
Capitalism.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm not a full-blown capitalist. I think we should prioritise our people than capital. And the fact that you've just said that we should import a foreign workforce for the sake of employment.
You just remixed what I said.
No, you said that.
No.
Okay, we should if an area is empty, we should just import it full of foreigners. That's what you just said.
People moved out. There's jobs and roles that needs to be fulfilled and performed. End of World War II, the country was decimated. they was begging people from other places to come over and help rebuild the nation. Yeah. So people came over and helped rebuild and moved in, done their thing. People contributed. Some people were good, some people were bad, and that's how.
The entire Windrush generation is only about 1 million people. Migration figures.
Windrush, though. It's not just Windrush.
Yeah, but I'm giving a great example.
From after World War. Wait, let me finish though. Yeah. 'Cause after World War II, a high percentage of English nationals moved from the UK to places like Canada, Australia, America to restart and try and rebuild their fortunes. Other people came here to help try to rebuild the country. Now you're schooling the people that came here to help rebuild the country.
No, I'm not, because the rate of migration post World War II is so much smaller than the rate of migration we're now having. The entire Windrush generation could have been replaced through last year. I'm giving you a good example. The entire Windrush generation could be replaced by last year's net migration numbers. That's insane. That's insane.
You keep saying Windrush.
Yeah. Okay. Give me the migration.
The Indians and Pakistanis came over and was working in the textile industries.
Yeah, and we're not talking about that small portion of migrants that came into Britain at that time. I'm talking about the hundreds of thousands of people that come here through regular modes of transport, or come here through exploited work schemes, or come here.
People that have migrated to the UK migrated here legally.
Yeah, of course.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about sub 10%.
0.5%.
That's not sub 0.5%. So the last migration figures
of 100%, and that's what you're complaining about.
The reason why they're illegal. So if you look at this year 2025's migration figures, it was about 205,000 net migration. 48% of that was through student visas.
When you talk slightly too loud.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
I'll leave it there.
So the reason why I think they're illegal is because if you go in areas like Pakistan or India that come here on student visas, they come here illegitimately. So Sky News actually did a report on this. They found that they are paying smugglers to lie about how much they have in their bank account in order to reach the threshold to claim student visas. Then they'll come here and actually go against what the conditions are of their student visas. They work here illegally. So it's not just the fact that they're coming here through irregular modes such as dinghies. I'm also talking about exploiting work schemes, dependency schemes and student visas.
Your exploitation explanation only goes one way. It doesn't go the other way. Like the millions of people that are exploited when they're actually... You know how much people apply for visas that pay money and they get refused, and it's actually a part of the economy and helps boost up what's happening in the country.
Again, you're just talking about exploitation. You're talking about importing a foreign workforce.
Hold on a sec. What did he say? He was talking about exploitation, right? Yeah. And now I'm replying with exploitation. He's like, what am I talking about?
No, you're talking about. So you're talking about people like the Boris.
Direction.
No, I'm talking about in every single direction. No, I'm talking about every direction. So I disagree with people who come here through illegitimate means or with the intention to illegally work here. I disagree with native people that do so as well with the benefit system. I also disagree with the idea that instead of fixing the childlessness rates here in the UK, we just import a cheap foreign workforce in order to saturate the job market. If we look at young people, for example, we have a record high unemployment crisis amongst young people. Meanwhile, employers will selectively decide to hire people who are not native to this country but are foreign because they have qualifications, which, mind you, don't perfectly transfer. There are a lot of people in the NHS that will tell you that just because you've been trained in a doctor in Nigeria doesn't mean you're qualified enough to come here and work in the NHS here in England.
You made a lot of points, yeah? And like you jumped along from the original exploitation.
No, I didn't.
That we're making along.
No, I didn't. I was talking about the exploitation of foreign workers. That they come here, they lie about why they're coming here first off. They saturate the market, which decreases wages and work conditions. They then will prioritise the employment of a foreign workforce than a native one, which means you have record unemployment for young people, because if you saturate the market, most people will tell you that you'd rather employ someone significantly older that would on paper have more qualifications, which isn't transferable because they have a foreign education. That's a very clear response to what you've just said.
That's not true, yeah, because like, again, when you apply for work visas or whatever, the people that are employing you are they're gonna have to assess the paperwork that you have, and little at least they're going to have to give you some sort of skill transformation training before you start taking up the role. So
No, it's not, because we recognise
wait, hold on,
foreign
let me finish
education.
though, bro, because if you're employing people, you're giving them work visas, and you're as an employer, you're going to have to make some contributions towards that. Why would you employ someone that is not going to be able to take the role?
By the way, that's just an assumption. You're assuming that our current system
Bro,
is
listen,
principally sound enough.
Everything you said is an assumption.
It's not an assumption. In fact, it's an
No
actual.
one's not produced any sort of paperwork.
I've actually shown you. There have been I've cited you sources that talk on this. So there was a Sky News report that actually looked at families who come here through dependency schemes and student visas, and they'll have smugglers will put in their account a large amount of money, then write that up as how much they earn, which is one of the requirements of a student visa, to demonstrate that you can actually afford to come here and pay several terms of your education. Then as soon as they have that done, they'll take it out of their account, they'll come into this country, they'll illegally work here, and then when they're found out, they'll either claim asylum, or they'll just plead their case to stay here permanently, or they'll just remain unreported and we won't deport them. Now, in terms of transferable work skills, now, just because on paper a government will recognise the institutions of foreign universities, it doesn't mean the country that we're taking these people for can hold a high standard of someone's education. And what I mean by that is, imagine here in the UK, we have all these prestigious universities. Now, the name always lands them that legitimacy. However, there could be a possibility that these universities don't maintain a good standard of education. So despite the fact many people who aren't involved within these universities believe that these universities will draw a high, successful, competent population of workers, secretly, internally, it's crap. And that is what you see with a lot of countries that accept these accept these.
Yeah. Like you say stuff like it's actually facts and things, but it's all just hot air and.
So have you?
It is because you haven't produced any sort of.
I literally cited the way that people come here.
Sky News report, bro.
Yeah, because that is literally how these people come here.
That's not how.
That's literally how these people come here. Why is it the majority of people, that come here illegally, 48% come here through student visas, and those aren't mostly young people.
You're saying the majority of people that come here legally, 48% come here through student visas.
Yes, and then a small percentages come on dependency schemes. A small, yeah, it's because why are we importing mostly students that have no economic impact to this country?
Students that pay to go to university and get student visas within the UK are help propping up your UK British economy.
No, we're not.
What are you talking about?
No, it's not, because they'll exploit the. Like I said
the
again.
fees that they pay are higher than the fees that British people pay.
Like I say again. So firstly, despite the fact they'll have a short-term impact to the British economy, they instantly leave. So what you'll see with a lot of foreign students
That's not true. It's not
no,
necessarily.
most foreign
Some British people are migrating.
Yeah, exactly. I think they should stay here.
See, do you have an issue with British people migrating to other people's countries?
Yes, because it demonstrates we're a country that no longer people want to live in.
Because a lot of people that get prestigious qualifications in the UK.
Buddy, I'm not a globalist.
instantly leave.
Buddy, I'm not a globalist. I don't believe that. Firstly, we should be proud enough of our countries
But it seems
in
like
order.
your anger is directed one way.
No, it's not.
Immigrants.
It's just because we're talking about one thing, so you're going to get a discussion about one particular subject.
Yeah, but when I'm showing you that.
It's like if we were talking about poverty, and
I'm
it's like,
telling you British people are leaving, yeah?
yeah, and I said that's wrong because I'm not a
It's like,
globalist.
yeah, but you listen to your energy now, it's like, oh yeah, it's wrong.
Yes, but
when you was talking about
it's
the,
because
the
when
foreign, the fucking fire.
no,
You know what I'm saying? It's that sort of energy. I'm like-
there's a certain thing. It's because when you clash on things that you disagree with,
Right.
you give more energy. However, when we agree with something, we don't. So when you say to me, well, there are British students leaving, I'd say, yeah, that is actually a good sign that firstly, the British people are not building a good enough country for their young people to stay in. Secondly, we have become globalists. We concern ourselves with other people's interests. We concern ourselves with other people's countries, and we make it so that other people can easily come and leave to this country. However, I'm very much concerned with putting Britain first, building up this country so that young people are able.
What does that mean?
Yeah, putting the British people first.
But what does that mean though? Who's the British people? And who needs to be put first? Do we need to have like a 3, 4, 5 tier system? where it's like,
No, I don't not believe in
you've
some
got
sort of
fucking,
caste
like, Peter
system.
Griffin's colour guard, where it's white, okay.
No.
If you're dark down there, then you're fucking excluded.
No, that is why when I defined my nationalism, I said we must put our people, so the distinctive ethnicity of the British people, the religion, the language and culture and economy of the British people first. I think that a country is defined by an
That still
ethnicity.
means that's like you want a two-tier system.
No, because I believe that we can have a small population of migrants here in this country.
Oh, you want a two-tier system. You don't even
No, I
want
don't.
a system.
No, it's because if a migrant comes here in this country and we, as a democratic society, agree for migrants and how many migrants come up ultimately, logistically into this country, they should have equal rights.
Bro, you just said you want British people, ethnically English or whatever, to be treated better than anyone else.
No.
That's a two-tier system.
That's not a two-tier system.
It is.
I said that we should prioritize the native people of this land, which isn't racist. Then, if migrants,
Right,
hold on,
give a definition of prioritize.
Prioritize?
Give me a scenario where someone has to be prioritized.
citizens of this country get put first.
But what does that mean, bro?
become
You
an
just keep
ethno
saying
now.
that.
No, I have not become an
You just
ethno.
said, you said it's
No. So the reason why it's not the reason why it's not a form of ethno-nationalism is
just
because
emphasised natives.
no. I said
what I'm trying to say.
both.
It's-
So I said that
We used to talk about ethnicity.
ethnicity because I feel like the reason why there's a discussion and a divide amongst the civic nationalist and ethno-nationalist position is
Some are racist and some are not.
no, it's because we haven't actually come to terms with what our position actually entails. So yes, culture and people should be equally preserved within a land because definitionally that is what a land is.
So it's street Mike English.
It's all of these
It's
things.
Street Mike English.
He's not English, no. He could be
So
British
Is he
because he's
on the list-
because he's
is
a
he on the list for deportation?
because he's a citizen of this country. He's British, sure.
But is he
nothing
on the
to do with
list to be
ethnicity.
moved
No,
out? though?
okay, there's a difference between someone calling someone British and English. He's not ethnically English. He's not Anglo. He's
Clarify.
no. Okay. I am concerned about demographic replacement. Yes.
Are you a British citizen? Yeah.
Yes, he's a British
And
citizen.
On your details, it says English in it or whatever, right?
Because he's
So-
born in England. However, he's not
Why are you saying
ethnically
demographic
English.
replacement? You never used to talk about that.
That's because you never asked me about it.
Never talked about it.
Because you never asked me.
Why are you suddenly throwing this?
Steve, why don't you go and sit down and
It's because
You seem to have moved slightly.
it's not because I've not moved. No.
Why is
The problem is that people always used to assume, especially on the internet, my position on
I've
things.
asked you on this subject and you've agreed with me.
Yeah, I think ethno-national.
That sounds like some ethnic business,
Now
bro.
you're
I don't. I'm not. Hold on. I'm not an ethno-nationalist. I think.
Sounds like it.
Of course not.
You clearly know.
Okay, Steve. I can't handle these two people at the same time. If you want to speak to me about why you believe my,
Tag in.
tag in. Because might as well.
Good discussion.
Might as well.
I disagree with
Hey,
you.
thanks a lot, sir, yeah?